Is the recording started? I don't find. Is the screen is visible for all of you? Sorry, my Wi-Fi is not working completely. I connected from my mobile data. So due to the network and it often it's get fluctuated. Okay, we'll start with, we'll continue with the bidirectional search. I was explaining with an example. Suppose if I am staying in Borivali and Danish is staying at Bandra, and if we both decided to meet, instead of one person is traveling to the other end, so what we can do is that we decide that we may traverse from I can start traveling from my home, and very similar to that, Danish can travel from his own end. So somewhere in the middle, we may meet it. So this kind of searching or this kind of technique, what it automatically reduce both the users no traveling time, right? Very similar to that. When it comes to the bidirectional searching algorithms, the searching process, right, will start from the initial or the start initial node, as well as it will be searching will be initiated from the goal node to the start node. But the problem with this technique is that both the searching technique or both the searching process that has to use a specific direction. How this will come to know whether, suppose I'll explain with the same example. Suppose if myself and Danish, we decided to meet somewhere in the in Andheri or Jogeshwari. Suppose if I am traveling by Western Express Highway along with the Western Highway, right? Suppose Danish is traveling in the SV road. What will happen in that case is we will not be able to meet each other in between. So I'll not find in between, right? Danish, right? I'll straight away. I'll keep on searching on the way, and then anyhow finally I will reach Bandra. Very similar to that, if Danish is traveling in the SV road and he may not be find him in between, he will reach Borivali. So this is what happens when if the direction are not specific, right? The goal state or the searching will know infinite. Again, which leads to the infinite state. So this may not provide an optimal solutions. Is it clear for all of you? So this is what are the simple logic or the idea behind a bidirectional search. When we talk about the bidirectional search, I'll try to explain with the diagram also. Here, suppose this is my source node and this is G is the destination node, right? What I could do is that, so here the goal state, from the goal state also, it will try to find out an shortest path through which no, it try to reach the source node, as well as the source node, it will try to find out a path through which it reach the goal state, right? Which is G, right? Now, the problem with this searching technique is that whether whatever the searching which takes place from the source through goal node or goal node to the source node, right? That should be the same path. But identifying the same path or selecting the correct path through which both the searching will meet at a midpoint, so that it's a little complex. So this may not provide an optimal solution, because again, very similar to that, the time complexity, when we compare with the space requirement as well as the time complexity, so when compared with the other algorithm, right? So depends upon the branching factors, or the depends upon the searching path which exists in the node, right? See, the goal node may have only one path, right? Through that it can traverse to the source node. But the source node, with this example in the diagram, the source node has the multiple directions, right? So whether, this may move towards the A, B, E, and so again it will end with without a reaching the goal state. Very similar to that, when it start moving into this direction, D, A, B, E, or C, E. By the way, it will try multiple solutions or multiple solutions through which it tries to find out or try to reach the goal state. When it comes to the performance about the bidirectional search, right? So this may provide a complete solutions, right? But depends upon the node or depends upon the path which we select, or both the source as well as the destination which selects. Again, when it comes to the time complexity, so here the time complexity which is reduced, so branching factor and upon D upon 2. So here D is the depth, because the depth we are reducing by 2, because the searching process will start from the both the ends, from the source as well as from the destination. So automatically the time complexity, the time is going to be reduced, because if we decided to meet at the midpoint, automatically, so I can travel only half of the distance. Very similar to the opposite person, he may supposed to travel only the half of the distance. So automatically it reduces the time by half. Very similar to that, the space complexity, it depends upon the node which we select, so it depends upon the path which we select, right? Only the half of the memory space which is required. Again, so whether it may provide an optimal solution, so it depends upon the algorithm or depends upon the tree. So next, we'll have the quick overview of the different comparisons with the different searching techniques, right? In the uninformed search techniques, we discussed about breadth for search, depth for search, uniform cost, and then depth limiter search, and then iterative deepening search, and then bidirectional search with the respectives completeness, whether it may provide an optimal solution or, and then we discussed about its the respective time complexity, space complexity, and whether all these techniques which provides an optimal solutions or not. Out of this, so we just wanted to focus on the optimal solutions, whether out of these different searching techniques, the depth for search as well as the depth limiter search does not provide an optimal solutions. The reason for these two algorithms are not providing optimal solution is that the depth for searching techniques which may fall under the infinite loop. If the depth is infinite and the searching process will directed towards only one child or only in one direction, this depth searching process will continues unless until it reaches the leaf node, right? And there are chances that if there is no limited node in the specific uh, child or in the specific subtree, and the searching process will keep on repeated. Very similar to that when it comes to the depth limiter search. And so here the depth limiter search, here we are going to restrict the level with the limit. Suppose if you are limiting with the level 2, then the searching node which is not present in the level 3, within the level 3, again, so this will lead to the failure. So we will not be able to find a goal node, right? So these are the few the comparisons between the all the uninformed search. So far we discussed about the different searching techniques, which are 6 different searching techniques under the uninformed search categories. The first one is that breadth for search, depth for search, uniform cost search, depth limit, iterative deepening search, and finally we discussed about bidirectional search. So do you have any doubt with this, the techniques which we discussed so far under the topic uninformed search? If you have any doubts, quickly can write in a chat box or unmute yourself and then you can post your queries. So I'll try to clarify. I hope it's clear for all of you. We'll move to the next topic, which is informed search. Is the screen is visible for all of you? Anyone can quickly write in a chat box. Is the presentation screen is visible for all of you? Okay, thank you for your response, Bharat. So this is a continuation of the searching technique, right? In the previous session, we discussed about a different searching technique which lied under the uninformed search. In today's session, and in this session, we are going to cover the basics or the further technique which are related to the informed search. Now, what is the difference between the uninformed search and then informed search? When it comes to the uninformed search, the searching techniques doesn't have any prior information about how to reach the goal state, right? So it doesn't have any idea about right through which path it has to navigate or it has to reach the goal state. It knows the only information about the current state, and then from the current state, it will try to find, it will try to use some strategies, and then based on the strategy, it will explore to the, it will move to the next level, or that technically speaking, that is the state space search. And from that point, it will try to explore or it will try to move to the next node, right? And by the way, it will keep on trying all the possible combinations. Suppose if there is a tree, it has a left side, a left subtree as well as right subtree. First, it will try to explore all the left subtree. And if the goal is not found, again, the searching process will move towards the right subtree. So this is what the logic in the uninformed search. When it comes to the informed search, whatever the algorithm which we are going to discuss under this uninformed or informed search, that is going to have some standard techniques, right? The algorithm will have some prior informations. Maybe when it comes to the shortest path technique, again, it have the other information which are related to that, what is the shortest path between the source and to the destinations are very similar to that. The algorithm will have some other information which really helps to reach the goal state. So here the algorithm will have uh, the knowledge about the complete graph as well as the complete path it wanted to traverse, right? Out of that, it will try to find out the best one or the optimal one through which it reaches the goal set so quickly. So this is what the concept behind the informed search. Now, what are the objectives of the informed search, right? You will be able to learn, you will be understand the heuristic function, right? In the later section, I'll explain what is meant by the heuristic function also. And then we will be learning about different searching techniques like A star search as well as hill climbing, genetic algorithm, right? Greedy searching techniques that we will discuss one by one. At the end of this session or at the end of this modules or sub modules, you will be learning all these concepts. When it comes to that informed search, right? So here, informed search methods use a problem specific knowledge, as I mentioned earlier, right? It will have some informations about or knowledge about what kind of problem which is given, and it will have the information about where the initial state lies and then where the goal state lies, and it will try to find out available solutions. Out of the available solution, it try to use the optimal solution using basic functions, might be any calculation or maybe any methods or any function or any sorry, any formulas. It will try to find out the shortest path or maybe the optimal solutions, right? When it comes to that, informed search method tries to improve the problem solving efficiency by using a problem specific knowledge. When it comes to the problem specific knowledge, the prior informations, right, which helps to reach the goal state based on the knowledge or based on the previous traversal informations or based on the previous transaction or history, and it tries to find out the optimal solutions. Right. Some of the other quick examples are quick advantages with the information search or inform search. Find the solutions more quickly because it is going to use some standard function, right? And based on the functions or based on the formulas or calculations, right? Definitely the solutions will be more quick, or the searching will requires only the less time when compared with the uninformed search. How this is going to happen quickly means when we talk about uninformed search, we'll try to find or we'll try to explore all the path or the available path. Out of that, no, we'll find out the best one, right? How the optimal will be identified in case of uninformed search. We'll explore all the path, when we are exploring uniform cost search, if you remember, we tried, mathematically we have calculated the shortest path with the graphs, and finally we identified that which one is the shortest path, and finally that was identified as the optimal solution, if you remember. And I was explaining with the diagram G, right? There are different paths, left side tree and then middle and then right C. Out of that, no, we explored all the uh, path. Out of that, finally we identified the optimal one, which was the shortest path. But when it comes to the information or informed search, before searching all the routes, we will have the initial or pre-assumption based on the certain calculations, and only those paths will be explored. The remaining path will be ignored straight away. Is it clear for all of you? So this is what the complete strategy behind the informed searching techniques. Again, some of the additional informations, right? The technique which we are going to use in the informed search, the basic technique is that the best first search. When it comes to the best first search, it is very similar to that normal tree search or graph search algorithm, which node is selected for expansion based on an evaluation function. When it comes to an evaluation function, I was explaining about any calculation or predetermined informations. So here, the evaluation function, which is going to be constructed based on the cost or based on the path cost. And so the node with the lowest evaluation is expanded first. So I think this is the idea behind this, the best first search, which is similar with the uniform cost search. If you remember what we discussed under the uniform cost search, right? We try to identify the different path cost for all the branches. Suppose if the node has B, C, D, three branches. After that, we identified that the node or the child which has the minimum cost. Only that node will be explored first. Very similar to that, when it comes to the best first searching technique, it is going to use a similar uniform cost kind of technique, right? That the node or the child which has the minimum path cost, so that is going to be expanded first. So that identifying the node which is lesser in path cost, so that will be calculated using the function f of n, which is called a evaluation function. Is it clear for all of you? Okay, we'll move to the next slide. I was explaining about the heuristic. When we talk about the heuristic, here we are trying to use an heuristic function. It's a method. Basically, it's a rule of a thumb, right? So here we are trying to follow maybe heuristics, maybe any criteria. So maybe the shortest path, or maybe any methods or functions or calculations or principles for deciding which among several alternative courses or maybe the paths of action promises to the most effective in order to achieve some goals. So this is what the definition of heuristic. When it comes to the heuristic, so here we are going to use any one of the method, whether it might be a statistics or might be any calculation or maybe any functions or maybe any formulas. Based on any one of the factor, we are going to make a decision, right, through that, so that will help to reach our goals in the shortest path. Maybe it provides an optimal solutions. When you talk about this optimal solutions, right, this heuristic techniques, right, most probably it will providing an optimal solutions, right? So when we talk about the heuristic function, right, at a node is the n is an estimate of the optimum cost from the current node to the goal node. So here, I think we already discussed about in the data mining as well as the machine learning, right? And when we discussed about the distances, Euclidean distances, clustering, right? How the clustering can be done, K-means algorithm, right? As well as clustering techniques, right? We detailing, you would have studied about the Euclidean distance, Manhattan distance. So based on that, those techniques are the formulas, right? Which helps to identify and calculate the distance between the source node and then destination node based on the distance, right? And so we will be doing some no the node which are comes very close to the group, so that will be segregated under the particular group. Very similar to that, when it comes to the heuristic function, right, it try to find out the optimum cost between our current node to the goal node, right? So here the h of n, which is going to be the estimated cost of the cheapest path from the node n to a goal node. So here the node n may be a source node or maybe any intermediate node, right? Again, I'll explain this the heuristic function with a simple example. Suppose if any person wanted to find a path from Mumbai to Pune, right? In that cases, the heuristic function for Pune may be a straight line distance between Mumbai and Pune. So this is again, when it comes to the straight line distance, again you may find it from the Google, right? It's the distance between a straight line distance between the two source and then the destination points, right? But basically speaking, this straight line may not be optimum or may not be, perfectly applicable to the practical approach, but we made when move from one place to other place, maybe from Mumbai to Borivali and Borivali to Thane and then Thane to Kalyan and then Kalyan to maybe Lonavala. So by the way, so we may take different approaches from closest path, right? Maybe source to the destination by crossing the different intermediate path, right? The intermediate path that has to be identified based on the shortest path, right? So here, when it comes to that, the distance between the two endpoints, which is Mumbai and Pune, so that will be calculated using the Euclidean function, which is called a Euclidean distance between the two points, which is Mumbai and Pune. So this will be considered as a heuristic function. So based on the heuristic function, right, now we may take a decision, right, which direction or which path we can select to reach our destination, right? Again, I quickly explain the example with the 8 puzzle problem. Suppose this is what the initial state which is given in the board, checkerboard, 1 2 3 8 and then empty space 4 7 6 5, and now this is what the goal state, 2 8 1 4 3 7 6 5. When we talk about uninformed search, what we'll do is that we'll try to find all the possible combinations, so that we'll make a moves from the left, right, up and down, and finally we'll try to reach this goal state. But when it comes to the heuristic state, right, so here what we can do is that we estimate that the number of tiles, right, which are matches with the initial state to the goal state. Now, when we check about the similarities between the initial state and then goal state, right? So 1 is not arranged properly, which is misplaced. 2 is misplaced. 3 is misplaced, and then 8 is misplaced, and then 4 is misplaced. But 7 6 5 are placed correctly. Out of that, when we talk about the heuristic function, it is equal to 5. The tile number are the numbers 1 2 3 4 8 are not in the correct locations. So here what we can do is that we can make any one of the move, right? Maybe 8 can be shifted right, or maybe 4 can be shifted right. After that, right, we will try to find out that how many nodes which are in the current locations. So based on the statistics, based on the node which we wanted to make a move, right, further process, further shifting, maybe the tile will be maybe shifted up or down, so that process will be takes place in order to reach the goal state, right? So I was explaining about the best first search algorithm, which is very similar to the uniform cost search algorithm, right? When you talk about the best first search algorithm, it's a generic best first algorithm. A select a node for expansion according to an evaluation function. When we talk about an evaluation function, which we talked about E of n or any f of n, right, which is based on that the node which has the less path cast, so that is going to be evaluated first. It is a generalization of the breadth first search and a priority queue of the node to be explored, right? So suppose if this is the source node has a 3 children, 3 5 1. Out of that, let's assume the 3 5 1 are the cost. Out of this, the rightmost subtree which has the less path cast, which is 1, so that has to be expanded. So the cost, the left subtree of the root 1 is 4 cost, again write sub t as a 6 cost. After that, so here the node which has the less cost, which is node 3, so that is going to be expanded second. By the way, so this process will be repeated, right? The simple logic is that the node which has the cheapest or the small path cost, so that is going to be expanded first. Is it clear for all of you? Always choose the node from the fringe that has the lowest f of n value. The f of n value here we are considering as the path cost. Right? F of n is the path cost. Always we need to select the node which has the lowest path cost. Is it clear for all of you? Next, we will be discussing about greedy search algorithm. This could be called as, this can be called as a hill climbing search. When you talk about the greedy searching technique or the hill climbing search, it is very similar to that. The best for search, right here, we are going to use the same kind of function, which is a heuristic function f of n, which is called a h of n also. Now, the problem with this greedy search algorithm, right? So this may not be an optimal solution, and sometimes it may not be able to provide a complete solutions. So here, because what are the node we are going to select is that is the shortest path, but irrespective of the goal node, we are trying to select only this node which has the shortest path. Sometimes, so that may lead to the no, that may reach to the node, or that may end without a goal node or without reaching the goal node. Again, we need to traverse back, and then we need to explore some other path. So by the way, if you are keep on identifying the shortest path that may reach the goal state or that may not reach to the goal state, right? So when it comes to the greedy search algorithm, very similar to the which I was explaining, right? The greedy best first search tries to expand the node that is closest to the goal, right? Which is very similar with the shortest path code on the ground that is likely to the lead a solution quickly. And it is searching process will be based on the evaluation function, right? And for example, with this technique is that minimizing a road distance, a heuristic lower bound of distance of two cities with the straight line distance. I was explaining with the distance between the Mumbai and Pune, which is going to be considered as the distance. Out of that, the node which has the shortest path, maybe the nearby cities, that is going to be considered. And through that, the intermediate cities which has the lowest path cost, so that is going to be expanded. Or through that cities, no, the traveling salesperson will reach the destination. Right? Again, when it comes to that, the grid searching techniques, right? So it can start down an infinite path and never return and try to other possibilities if it is an incomplete. So I was explaining about that. When we use this greedy search or the best for search, right? What we focus is that we'll focus only on the shortest path, right? Suppose if the goal state which lies at the path which has the longest path, right? That node or that path will be selected only after finding out or after visiting all the shortest path, right? It completely depends upon the branching factors, or may sometimes it may not be providing an optimal solutions. Finally, again, in the worst case, right, this time and the space complexity of the algorithm, which is order of b power m, right? M is the limit based on the limit which we are going to use in the tree, right? Again, when we talk about the greedy best for search, which similar with the depth for search, right? It tries to follow a single path to the goal state, and sometimes, right, it will back unless until if it reaches the goal state. So these are the some of the points which are related to the greedy searching techniques. Now I'll try to quickly explain the greedy search techniques with example, right? So this is what the tree which is given, and whatever the node or whatever the value which is highlighted here in the table, which is a, and its heuristic function which is based on the distance between the 2 points, right? Here a is the start node and then I is the goal node. After that, suppose if I wanted to reach from a to I, now there are some heuristic values which are calculated, right? 366 from b to I, which is 374, c to I, which is 329. The function f of n equal to h of n, which is a straight line distance based on the heuristic function what we used. So I was trying to explain about the Euclidean distance. When we talk about the Euclidean distance, how it will be calculated. Suppose if there are 2 points, x1, y1, and then x2, y2, and then how the distance will be calculated. The square root of in bracket x1, x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So this formula will provide a distance between. It will provide a straight line distance between the 2 points using a Euclidean distance. I hope it is clear for all of you. Now, so this is what a straight line distance which has been defined between this start node and then goal node, which is 366 a to I, which is 366. All the heuristic function which are towards the goal node only. Is it clear for all of you? A to I, which is 366. The next B to I, which is 374, and then C to I, which is 329, and then D to I, which is 244, and then E to I, which is 253, F to I, which is 178, and G to I, which is 193, and then H to I, which is 98, and then I to I, which is 0. So this is what the heuristic value which has been given, or let's say that we calculated using the Euclidean distance. Now, let me explore how the greedy search algorithm will work. So we identified the start node is A, and the root node will be explored, right? The root node has a 3 children, right, which is C, E, and then B. Out of that, the node which has the lesser distance, which is the node E, which has the lesser in distance, the distance between this A to C, and then A to B, and then A to E. So here the value which are mentioned in the square bracket, so that are the distance, right? Out of these 3 nodes, right, the node E or the child E, which has the lesser distance or shortest distance. Now the E will be explored first. When we exploring E, again root E, which has the 3 children, G, A, and then F. The node A already we had visited, that was the source node, and so that is ignored. And out of the remaining trees, remaining child G and then F. So these two value will be considered, right? F as the distance which is 178, that is comparatively less with the distance to the G, which is 193. So node F will be explored. When we are visiting the node F, or when we are expanding the node F, which has 2 children, which is E and then I. So distance to the F to I, which is 0, and then distance to the F to E, which is 253. The node E we have already visited, and the node F to I, which finally we reached the goal state. But the path cast which we traversed from the start to the goal node, which is A, E, F, I, which is equal to 253. The distance between A to E, which is 253, and then 178. So that is the distance between this E to F, which is 178, and then F to I, which is 0. So this is the total path cast which we traversed. When it comes to the distance which we traveled, A to F, which is 140. Now this is the 140 is the distance which we calculated using the Euclidean distance, right? 140, and then 99, and then 211. So these are the distance are straight line distances which we calculated using the heuristic functions. So finally we reached the goal state I using this the pathcast, which is 431. So does this optimal solution, this provides an optimal solutions? We may ensure that whether this greedy searching algorithm is it complete or is it provided an optimal solutions. Not all the time the greedy search algorithm will provide an optimal solution. If we take another example, another criteria, right? Suppose out of this, if these three distances, right? If in this case, the node C, which has the distance or the path cost is 250, and the remaining nodes E and then B, which has no the 253 path cost and then 274. Out of that, as for the example, as for the logic, the shortest path or the node which has the shortest path which will be selected. Out of that, the C node will be expanded, and so the C has only one child, which is D, and which leads to the infinite path. So this will not go back to its previous state or the source node, right? So this will keep on visiting. So here the infinite loop will cycle is formed, right? It keep on moving or it keep on searching from C to D, C to D, D to C, right? So this is will leads to a infinite state or which forms automatically a cyclic process. So this greedy search algorithm, right, based on the explanations what we had so far, the greedy search, right, may not be optimal all the times, right? If so, this depends upon the path cost. Sometimes, so this may provide an optimal solution. In some of the cases, it may not provide an optimal solutions. And the greedy search is incomplete without a systematic checking of repeated states. In the worst case, the time and space complexity of the greedy search algorithm, which is order of b power m, which is based on the branching factor and then maximum path length. Suppose if the breadth or if the length is maximum, again it depends upon the size of the tree, right? The time complexity as well as the space complexity will increase. Students can kindly make a quick note that uh, around at 12 o'clock you will have a BDA lectures. That was one of your the department level elective. Sonali ma'am will take that lecture also.